Because you're an idiot, so easily manipulated.
The problem is the establishment and Donald Trump, and I don't care how angry, how much hate Anthony has for him, because Anthony was fired, after 10 days, it sounds like a bitter ex-employee. Cenk has Trump derangement syndrome, whether you like it or not, brother. They hate him. What people like you don't tend to understand, Cenk, you know what people like you don't understand? Everybody is tired of that BS rhetoric. It's one man going against the establishment for us. And you know what, Piers? It's crazy. You mentioned the president of the ex-president of the United States was shot in the head, okay? And then after a week, nobody was talking about it. The legacy media, mainstream media, 98% of it is Trump is this evil man. And there is a problem, Piers, because people are brainwashed into thinking it's all Trump. Because people like me and Emily know, we're thinking even this is bigger than Trump, okay? This is us against that establishment, Cenk, and it's never going to go away.
Vinny Oshana from the PBD Podcast went on Piers Morgan and debated Cenk Uygur once again. This one got even more heated than the last time that we covered Cenk Uygur and Vinny Oshana on the Piers Morgan Podcast, on Piers Morgan Uncensored. It got really heated. They argued a lot. And of course, Vinny came out on top because Cenk is an absolute idiot. Let's get into this video here of Piers Morgan Uncensored with Cenk Uygur versus the PBD host, Vincent Oshana. Let's check this out.
We have no leadership. Donald Trump would never let that happen.
Okay,
people respected him and people feared him. And I don't care if you like him or not. That doesn't matter when you vote.
Let me bring in Cenk, who's been waiting with unusual patience, it has to be said. I put it down to you must have had a summer break of some description that's calmed you a little bit. But be honest with me, Cenk. If do you really believe that when it comes to standing up to world leaders like Kim Jong-un, like Putin, like Xi and others, do you really believe that Kamala Harris is somebody that will exude an air on behalf of the United States that will be more intimidating to those guys than Trump would?
It's not even close. Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. You guys are looking at it, it's like all of this foreign policy's emotional vibes in the room. And Kamala Harris walks in and are they like, oh my God, I'm intimidated, or oh, it's no big deal. And Trump walks in, they're like, oh my God, I fear him. No, it's about what you're willing to do, your actions, your policies, etc. So what does Kamala Harris have?
No, dude, come on. Like, there has to be respect. It's not as much about fear. Like, yeah, people might have feared Donald Trump, but I think it's a whole lot more about the respect. And who respects Kamala Harris? Like, nobody respects her in the United States, much less other countries, world leaders of other countries. Nobody respects Joe Biden. People respect Donald Trump. I think fear is an aspect of respect, but it's not the full thing. Like, respect is different. Like, obviously, when Donald Trump walks into a room, everybody's not hiding under blankets or hiding under the table, obviously, but they respect the guy and they probably believe him when he says certain things like, hey, don't invade this country or else this is going to happen. He says it with a straight face. He shakes your hand hard. He looks you in the eye. He says it's going to happen. And people believe him. People respect it. When Kamala Harris walks into a room and says, hey, don't invade this country, it's like, what are you going to do about it? You're supposed to be in charge of the border of your own country, and people are just running in left and right, coming in all the time. And you're doing nothing about it. Why would I believe what you have to say? Who cares? It's more about respect than it is like actual genuine fear.
Kamala Harris has the might of the administrative state and the U.S. military behind her, and they know she's stable and she represents the general American establishment. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, I don't love the establishment, etc., but it is an fearsome entity. And everybody knows that a normal president of the United States speaks on behalf of that entity, and they fear that entity. When Donald Trump walks in the room, they're like, oh, thank God, what a clown. Okay, so easy to manipulate him. Sure. Here, let's tell him we like him. Hey, Donnie, we like you. You think, oh, I like you. I'm going to write love letters to you. So while he said he was writing love letters to Kim Jong-un built 6 nukes. What happened, tough guy? You let him build all those nukes. You did nothing about it because you're an idiot, so easily manipulated. You think Putin doesn't know that? They do a meeting, Trump comes out, he's like, Putin is right, not our intelligence, the U.S. sucks, Putin is right. That weak guy just cares about money. You know what he says about the Saudis? They give me $30, $40 million for an apartment. Shouldn't I like them? obviously corrupt, easily manipulated, a tiny mind. He's done nothing but encourage our enemies by being so weak and such an obvious narcissist. Do you know how easily I could play that guy if I'm in a room with him? You just go tweak here, tweak there, and he's discombobulated, right? And
notice how Cenk talks about Donald Trump versus how Vinny and people like Patrick Bet-David or Piers Morgan or anyone talk about Kamala Harris or the other candidates. When Cenk talks about Trump, he just throws ad hominem attack. He's small-brained. He's a weak loser. He's all these things. But when Piers Morgan or, like I said, Patrick Bet-David or Vinny Oshana or anybody talk about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, it's always just they have lack of respect. Like they're not respected as Donald Trump is. They're not throwing out ad hominem attack after ad hominem attack, although you could very easily attack, Kamala Harris with the ad hominem for sure. But it's just the way that Cenk talks about Donald Trump. It's so emotional. It's all ad hominems, and it's so emotional that you can tell this isn't fueled by logic. This is fueled by TDS. Like it's 100% fueled by TDS, and Vinny is about to absolutely destroy him.
And if you're not going to do it by flattery, which is the easiest thing in the world, you just get under his skin a little bit. Hey, your hair doesn't look good. Oh, what? I'm going to attack you. Come on, this guy's a fool. Look, all of you know it. All of you know it. That's why you're spending all your time about, oh, look at Kamala Harris. She's a slightly normal politician. Ooh, that's so scary. Come on. Piers, you're going to ignore the fact that the other guy is totally unhinged and the easiest man in the world to manipulate.
No,
like
I think, listen, we've talked about Trump a lot. I've known, as Anthony and others, I've known Trump nearly 20 years, right? I've spoken to him many times, interviewed him 40 times. I know Trump very, very well. Good, bad, and ugly. And I think he has equal measures of all three of those things. But I think that your characterization of him is almost, it's cartoonesque. And in a way that plays into Trump. He is a cartoon character. Well, maybe.
But if you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
It plays into Trump's hands when you over-demonize him. When I hear the left in America just ranting away about Trump morning, noon, night, I think you're playing him the wrong way.
Piers, he is that bad. He is that bad. You're
Piers,
actively
I want to
covering.
meet Cenk in the
Piers,
middle.
you know what is? Hold on. One more thing. You guys, you know what you sound like? You sound like Democrats that were saying that Joe Biden is young and dynamic behind the scenes. Guys, we have eyes and ears. We can see Donald Trump. He's an unhinged man. The only reason you don't think so is because you're so biased that you're like, oh, it's normal to terminate the Constitution or try to murder your vice president.
I want to come to Vinny.
That's not normal.
Hang on. I want to come to Vinny. What I want to say once again, Cenk, you shouldn't misconstrue the fact I've known Trump a long time and say I see the good, bad, and ugly in him. You should never misconstrue this for me saying that Americans should vote for him or that I would vote for him or any of those things. You seem to be incapable of assessing the stuff that comes out of my mouth in an accurate way. You want to portray me as a diehard MAGA Republican. I'm not. People in England listening to this would laugh their heads off.
No, he's not even, it's not even about Piers. Like, Piers, this isn't even about you. Whenever Cenk Uygur says, you are so biased that you can't see the truth about Donald Trump, you can't see what we see about Donald Trump because you're so biased, he's not talking to Piers Morgan or Vinny or anybody in particular. He's talking to the whole right wing because the TDS is so strong. It's the same thing that people like Mark Hamill do. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Piers Morgan can use all the logic in the world with Cenk Uygur here. It doesn't matter. There's no logic involved in his brain. It's all TDS. It's broken. His brain is broken. The section of the brain that stores Donald Trump information is rotten in Cenk Uygur's mind. That's what's happening. So it doesn't matter how much logic you use here. He's always going to feel the same way. He's always going to feel like I have the right read on Trump, and I forever will. Anybody who disagrees with me and doesn't attack him with, calling him a loser and calling him egotistical, all these things, all of you are wrong if you don't call him those things with me. That's how he thinks.
I was editor of the Daily Mirror newspaper for 10 years. Huh?
Did you see your intro? It was 99% negative against Kamala Harris.
Well, no, she wasn't.
Every time I come on here,
exactly my point.
Totally in favor of Donald Trump.
It wasn't, but you didn't listen properly because all you want to hear is Trump bashing. Let me bring in Vinny. Vinny, look, Trump has got a bit of a problem here. There's no doubt the dynamic of this race changed dramatically. I spoke to Trump the night before it changed, which was a week after he got shot. He saw me on Fox saying how it was extraordinary that he was back on stage at another rally, and we had a perfectly nice conversation. And I said to him, I reckon you've got this election sewn up now because of this assassination attempt. And he went, let me tell you, if I've learned one thing in the last 3 weeks, it's that 4 months is a very long time. Anything could happen. And the next day, Joe Biden quit the race, and all the momentum has been behind Kamala Harris and the Democrats ever since. And I've detected with Trump that he's really struggled to work out how to attack the new threat. What do you think?
Well, I mean, and Cenk made a good point. That establishment, the problem is the establishment and Donald Trump, and I don't care how angry, how much hate Anthony has for him, because, I mean, Anthony was fired, after 10 days, it sounds like a bitter ex-employee. Cenk has Trump derangement syndrome, whether you like it or not, brother. They hate him. What people like you don't tend to understand, Cenk, you know what people like you don't understand? Everybody is tired of that BS rhetoric. It's one man going against the establishment for us. And you know what, Piers? It's crazy. You mentioned the president of the ex-president of the United States was shot in the head, okay? And then after a week, nobody was talking about it. The legacy media, mainstream media, 98% of it is Trump is this evil man. And there is a problem, Piers, because people are brainwashed into thinking it's all Trump. Because people like me and Emily know, we're thinking even this is bigger than Trump, okay? This is us against that establishment, Cenk, and it's never going to go away. And just to give you a little example, Piers, about how much these people have just hate and disgust for Trump, last Monday, he was at Arlington National Cemetery, okay? He was invited by Gold Star families of soldiers who were murdered in Afghanistan in 2021. They invited him. They wanted photos. Guess what the media said? He's taking it. This is a campaign ploy and all this BS. You know who else was invited? Joe Biden was invited. Kamala Harris was invited, and none of them showed up. Biden was on the beach trying to use his cell phone, and Kamala was in her freaking God knows how many $1 million mansion, okay? Guys, stop, Cenk, this whole Trump talk, we're done with it, okay? And if they didn't cheat, I know we're going to get into Zuckerberg and FBI and Facebook. If they didn't cheat, you guys would be done with him in November. But that system, that same establishment, we're just tired of it. We're tired of that system. And you're right, Piers. There is a problem because when 98% of the media is he's Hitler, he's this, he's evil, what else? FBI, he's going to use the FBI as the Gestapo. Are you freaking nuts? The FBI has been used as a Gestapo for the past 7 years against Donald Trump. Okay? And if it can happen to him, I'm worried about the future of the Republican Party. All right, that's the real talk of the time.
Let me bring in Anthony here. Anthony, if you...
Dude, Vinny is so based. Like, he's really... I mean, I feel like he was kind of a background character for a long time on the PBD podcast. For Patrick Bet-David, just kind of sitting in the background and adding something so he could take a break every once in a while. Vinny is kind of becoming a main character now. Like, he's very based when it comes to the Middle East stuff, when it comes to the Trump stuff. He speaks facts, and a lot of people have been criticizing Trump for what he's been saying recently and becoming soft and stuff like that. And I somewhat agree. He has gotten softer since 2016, I think. A lot of people disagree with that. That's fine. But Vinny is 100% correct. This is all fueled by TDS. Like, saying that Trump is going to do things that Joe Biden is literally currently doing or I guess Kamala Harris now is literally currently doing in order to take down Donald Trump and try to take him out the race. They are saying that they're saying that they shouldn't elect Trump because Trump might do exactly what the current president that they elected is doing to Donald Trump right now. And they will never see it, and they will never acknowledge it. Zuckerberg came out and admitted that he basically did the bidding of these people who I'm talking about to try and rig the last election. He came out and said it point blank, and they're still going to deny it. They're still going to say it never happened. There's no point in trying to logic and reason with these people. There's just no point. They're never going to come to the conclusion that is the logical one. It's always a TDS one. Like I said, their brains are rotten where Donald Trump information is stored. Let me know in the comments what you think about this episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored, where this PBD host, Vinny Oshana, absolutely destroyed Cenk Uygur and this other woke idiot, whoever the hell that is. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole PBD host versus Cenk Uygur on Piers Morgan situation.